Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hey,
Welcome, all you minties.
this is the Uncanny Omar, and I am joined by this lovely lady right here.
Hello, Astonishing Melanie. Hi, Chandasuk, Willie, and Michael, and Eric.
Okay.
Well, they're
And
more
Lionheart.
And that lady over there.
The amazing Amanda. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Yep. And this gentleman below me.
Hi, everybody.
Below me.
That sounded weird, but that's okay.
My buddy Gio from A Week in Geekdom.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us, my dude. Maddie took the night off because she has taken over Old Reader, New Reader next month. So
Yes,
I'm taking a month off. Amanda's taking a month off.
Yep.
Maddie's helming that. As a matter of fact, I think she's already picked her Patreon vote.
She did.
Which is nothing but Gail Simone work. So it's like Birds of Prey or Secret
Wonder
Six,
Woman. Yeah.
Wonder Woman, and you all get to vote on that.
Mhm.
And then I'm not sure what other books or who she'll have on, but she will be doing Old Reader, New Reader for a month. I am taking a break. Puerto Rico represent. Wait a minute. Roberto Rodriguez is Puerto Rican?
There we go.
Nice.
All right. What's up?
What did you think he was from?
Who, Roberto Rodriguez?
Did you think he was from Peru or somewhere? Like, did he mention that before or something? Okay.
Not Peru. So tonight we are talking about my favorite manga of all time. My wife. When the movies came out, I have a long history with Berserk. It all started in 1998 when my friend and I went to a convention and I bought bootleg copies of this series that aired in Japan in 1997, 25 episodes. And we watched the entire season in one night. And we looked at each other because it ends with the eclipse. And we were like, how? No, it was not Sailor Moon. How is it possible that this series does not continue? So it's pretty cool because in 2003, I was writing articles for a magazine. And one of the very first manga that I got to review was the very first official release of Berserk by Dark Horse. DMP was translating it back then. And then when I had a website about heroes, I did some more Berserk reviews. So it's always like been part of my life. And now we are here with Berserk Deluxe editions available now, and also the regular volumes. So
I'm not listening to you. I'm reading the chat. It's pretty funny. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone get
the Eminem song really.
Omar and Usagi could whoop guts.
Who said that?
I don't know. Could Usagi is my hero and Guts is as well. I don't know.
Usagi Yojimbo or Usagi from Sailor Moon?
Sailor Moon, because he had mentioned Sailor Moon earlier, so that's why.
Guts.
They are both my favorite.
Anyway, so we are going to be talking about spoilers, and there are some big spoilers in this series. As a matter of fact, this has one of the biggest shocking moments in any book that you're going to read. So I don't want to spoil that for anybody because you need to read it for yourself.
Yeah.
It's not worth.
If you haven't, this would be good to reminisce, but gee, to spoil that.
To spoil what happens to these characters is just wrong. And
yeah.
It was such a precious moment for me. Such a precious memory.
Precious is not the word I would have used for any of this.
I genuinely prayed. I prayed. I was like, dear God, this is scary.
It's terrifying.
I remember, we watched the movies because I wanted my wife to get into Berserk, but I also like protecting my wife from evil. So I was like, okay.
You wouldn't let me read Preacher.
No, you're not allowed to read Preacher yet. Actually, you're allowed. You're a grown-ass woman. You can do whatever you want to. But when we got the movies, I was like, well, maybe now is a good time because the movies did something that I always wished the books had done, and that is literally start you with the Golden Age arc. So let's talk about this.
Okay, wait. Roberto and
yes, we're just going through volume 5 of the Deluxe edition.
Roberto thought it was 1 through 3.
No, right? Isn't it in the description?
So,
I think I put volumes 1 through 13, but that's because you gave me these.
Right. There's only 5 volumes to the Deluxe editions.
No, we're going further than that.
Yeah.
We end at the eclipse, or a little bit after the eclipse.
So
that's where our story ends.
Yeah.
I just want to introduce Gio again Miss Sugar 12345 is asking who you are.
That is Gio. He has a
So-
YouTube channel, and what is that, Gio?
Yeah, my YouTube channel. It's a Week in Geekdom where I usually talk about a mix of anime, comics, manga, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so definitely up your
This is
alley,
definitely up
and
his alley.
So definitely
Yeah.
check out his channel if you
Sunday.
haven't.
Again, Maddie is taking a break because next month she's doing all of Old Reader New Reader, so she's on a
Yep.
break tonight.
Yep, yes, please. If you have not read this, again, I don't want to spoil this for anybody. Martin,
Yes,
we love
Martin.
you. Come back another
Come
day.
back
always come back.
tomorrow and just
Yeah.
listen to me and Omar talk about House of Wax.
House of Wax. House
So,
of Wax.
House
Yes,
of
sir.
Wax. Come on back tomorrow. don't. Yeah, spoil yourself on this.
All right.
Okay, so Roberto's watched the movies. All
Okay.
right, go,
So if
go,
everybody
go.
else is good, now we've done the spoiler warning.
We just
Yeah.
warned you.
Let's go. Yes, that's right, Amanda. Amanda,
Maddie?
whatever your name is, take it from here with your amazing synopsis. You better be
Oh
ready.
God, I don't know if I can do a sit up. There's 13 volumes.
13 volumes.
Look
Yeah.
at it this way. Those
So-
volumes are spread out. I mean, not a lot, really not a lot.
Yeah, okay,
happened.
you're right. Okay,
There are
there's
important
not a lot
things.
happen because
Yeah.
there's important stories along the way, but not a ton happen. It's a lot of action
Mhm.
and sex. Maybe it's called sex. Maybe it's rape. A lot of it's rape, but it is what it is. Okay.
That's a good warning. Like there is a lot of
Yes.
that.
If
But
you
let me-
are,
I will
yes,
say
sexual
this.
violence is a thing here, guys.
But I will say
Mhm.
this about this book: that it's not just women; it is everybody.
That's everybody.
being
Yes,
raped.
it doesn't. Yeah.
And I know it's weird to talk about it like that.
Because it's about evil.
I mean, we're talking
It's
demons here
evil.
on Earth. So, all right, Amanda, take it from the beginning. Which literally, you're right. It starts off with Guts just pounding away at a demon chick, which I forgot about.
Yeah.
So
I didn't realize what. Yeah. So the story actually starts off many moons after the end of these volumes, where Guts has been branded with the brand of sacrifice, and he is destroying demons basically because they are drawn to him, which we'll find out later. And he happens upon a little elf named Puck, right? Yeah, a very annoying character. For me,
I
the
like
first
he's
four
annoying.
volumes were hard for me to get through, but essentially they end up going to this kingdom where this king, and I don't remember his name because I'm way past. That all is so many moons
doesn't
ago when I
matter.
read it.
So many
He is he basically has been killing heretics, but he's moved way past killing them. He's like experimenting on them, cutting their limbs
Hold on.
off.
This is a good question. Are we talking
Mhm.
spoilers post Deluxe 5? No. I want to, believe me, but we probably
Yeah.
shouldn't because I mean there are some awesome moments later on, especially if you want to find out what happens to some of these characters. So we're just sticking to 1 through 5, and not even all of 5, just volume 13, which is like the first third of 5.
Yeah.
Good. And
Yeah,
he's
and-
mentioning Puck takes a view of the audience. I can see that.
I'm not that annoying.
Well, he's like a narrator of
He
sorts.
doesn't know what's going on.
Because at this point, all we know of Guts is he's the Black Swordsman,
Yeah,
and
man.
he kills demons, and he doesn't care about anyone else. It's all about him. If you can't defend yourself, too bad. If you live or die, that's on you.
Yeah.
This is kind of his mindset. So,
He-
Offset,
he is
interesting
really-
character.
really ruthless and kind
Ruthless
of
at this point.
not very likable. Like there's an
Nope.
old man that had lost
No.
his family. He had his face peeled away by this king, right? Which is what we're getting to.
Yes.
He, the old man's about to get executed, and
He asked him to
like,
avenge him.
we gotta go and help him. We gotta help this old man. And Guts literally says, "Is like, well, if he dies, then he dies." I wish
Yeah.
I had, but I don't.
You know what really bothers me is, like Amanda, you said, the very first panel of him pounding away in order to trap a demon. Because he changes later, right? I guess he grows as a character. That's not Guts to me. He wouldn't do that. I think he changed after the Golden Arc. Like, he changed to in the author's mind, I think. Like, no. Because
Yeah.
like he's okay, this sounds weird.
I
but
think-
pure
no,
for concept.
This is not the Guts that you meet later on, guys.
right. He wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
He's just
Well,
gonna chop her head off.
I think I think like most writers, as the story
yeah,
progressed,
he got to know Guts as
he
character.
wanted to make him more of a likable character, and also have, some redeeming qualities instead of just being a demon hunter that's pretty much one-dimensional, that doesn't care about anybody but himself.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course he's got to have some character development. Gabrielle thinks that Puck is actually the best in the first few volumes.
Oh no, I don't know if I like.
Well,
but Puck's almost like a conscience to Guts in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my buddy Comic Book Heels here. Berserk started my downward spiral of manga. I've been watching anime and buying manga nonstop lately, all while ignoring and selling all my American collection. Man, gotta find that balance. All right, Amanda. So what happens? What happens in this arc?
So in this arc, this king, who basically, they find this Puck and Guts or the Black Swordsman at this point, find this Behelit, right? Is that the Behelit? Yeah. The Behelit.
I say Behelit. I don't know.
Behelit.
Yeah.
The egg. I usually say
the egg.
The mouth egg.
Yeah, egg of the king.
The egg of the king
with a face and noses and eyes. My wife is adorable and made up.
I would know what a plushie. Do they make plushies?
And she can't.
I guarantee they probably do somewhere.
Tattoo.
No.
I'm gonna look it up. I bet they have a plushie on Amazon somewhere. You can buy. So as they're sieging this castle, basically with this king who's been pretty much torturing his subjects, including this old gentleman that Omar mentioned earlier, they find that egg of the king, and after that man has been tried or has been executed, Puck ends up getting captured by this king, and he's given as a pet to the king's daughter, Teresa, I think is her name, or something like that. Yeah. And it's all coming back to me now. And she, has this conversation how she never left her room before after her mother had passed away. Her father kind of, locked her away to keep her safe. And it's clear he cares about her, but he also has very sordid demonic tastes. And it comes to find out it's because he has a demon inside of him. And as him and Guts are having this big battle after Guts kills all of his, a lot of his knights and different people, this void opens up overhead, and we get I call them the four horsemen, but those, what are they called? The evil
God hand.
The God hand.
Yeah.
So there's five of
There's
these
five
characters.
of them. Yes, sorry, five
And
now.
one of them he keeps killing or calling by his name, which is Griffith, right?
Yes,
the guy that we later find out is not. Well, never mind. It is the God hand that appears, and the guy on the right is the one that Guts during this moment in the very first arc is calling Griffith.
Yes,
and running towards him like he's angry, like he knows him,
and he's mad. And basically, they're telling this king, to become what you need to become, you have to sacrifice what you loved. You already did it once. And we come to find out he actually sacrificed his wife because he caught her having a major orgy with a bunch of satanic,
goat-headed demons.
Maybe not just pagan, maybe not satanic. Pagan.
Easy with those words there, man.
Yeah, exactly. Pagan.
You don't want to get canceled.
People. And so he ends up sacrificing her. And of course, somehow Teresa manages to find a way in this room and realizes what has happened. And of course, they're like, just sacrifice your daughter and you can do it. And it all comes down to it. And he doesn't end up sacrificing her. So he gets taken into the void forever, and they leave. Of course, Guts wants to kill Griffith, but he can't. And we don't really know what their backstory is yet. We just know they have, obviously, they have something together. There's some hatred there. And afterwards, Teresa's all upset. And he's like, you can kill yourself, not kill yourself. I don't care. Do whatever you want. Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh.
Yes, he's really harsh. And then Puck is kind of our audience, like Roberto said. He's like, what happened to this man? Like, what is the reasoning? And that's when we start to get into the backstory, right? Then we start to learn more about Guts, the poor child.
What is that? 10 volumes of backstory.
So you got to keep
Born
in
out of
mind that this is pretty unprecedented, at least for me. where you are 3 volumes into a story, and then in the 3rd volume they're like, here's a flashback, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
In any movie, in any book or comic, you read a flashback, you're okay. 5-6 issues in, cool. Let's find out about this character. We're talking 10 fucking volumes of nothing but flashback before we come back to see Puck again, before we come back to see the Black Swordsman again.
So, Gio, when you first read this, or did you read it first, or did you watch it first?
Well, I remember my uncle watching it back in the late 90s, and he always said I shouldn't watch it because it's not for kids. And it always stuck with me. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I shouldn't watch this thing called Berserk. So I never went into it. And it was actually Omar who convinced me to go ahead and pick up the manga. But that was back in like 2016, 2017.
Wow.
And I read it, and I didn't have a problem with it. But I know a lot of people get upset with those first couple chapters with Guts's portrayal and all that stuff. It's not for everybody, but it does grow on you.
And Mitch is right. You forget that you were even reading a flashback.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
That becomes the story.
So, did you forget as you were reading that it's a flashback?
Oh,
I did.
Remember the beginning.
No,
I thought that was the actual story. Everything once he grew up and became, part of the Band of Hawks and stuff. Because I haven't read past volume 13. So
we should do this every month. Because anyway, wait, you might be like, I hate this story. It's so stupid. So that takes us into the next arc.
Okay, little kid, but Guts arc.
but not really.
Out a lot of the way. The reason he is the way he is because he literally crawled out of his dead mother's, body.
Out of hell. That's such a haunting image.
Dead. Yep.
Yeah. So she's
dead. From birth, he didn't give up. That's how I say it. He didn't give up. He crawled out.
And then they do a really quick forward. Like this guy named Gambino takes him because Sis, it was a woman that he was with. They're all a bunch of mercenaries. And
she had just lost a child, so she sees him and wants to raise him.
And Gambino's like, whatever, I don't care. She lost his child. Gambino's child. So then it fast forwards 3 years with Gambino teaching Guts how to fight, which is crazy.
Yes.
And he cuts him. So the scar that you see on Guts that he still has to his day
that's
is the scar that he got from Gambino. Because Gambino don't play. He's kind of an asshole. Actually, no, he's a straight up asshole. Because he sells 3 years later, when he's 6 years old, he sells this child to another mercenary for sex.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's some rough imagery in this book. It does not hold back. If this...
it definitely establishes the evil that he's fighting against.
All his life.
I'm sorry, man. If you like, we can come back and review My Little Pony meets Transformers next.
Yeah, this isn't the episode for you. If you're not
into good stories.
But
that's a good choice.
Transformers is kick ass, and you may not like that because guess what? They're genderless robots. So you may have a problem with that too. So, my daughter loves Transformers.
Gosh, my daughter's upstairs.
So let's talk about what happens next.
This happens next.
Oh, so as he grows up, so
I gotta get rid of some people that are spamming. So you keep going.
No, okay. So the interesting is as Guts grows up, a lot of the Gambino, which there is a part which I have to just say this because when he hits Guts or he does something to Guts and someone goes, "Isn't that childish?" And then all I kept thinking of is Childish Gambino. I know that's not how he got his name, Donald Glover, but wow, why is that where my mind went when I started reading that? Redbone, well, I was like, why did my mind go there? Okay, anyways, so as he's growing up, a lot of the mercenaries with Gambino believe that he is a curse. Like they never should have taken this child in because he was born of death. And suffice it to say, it almost is like a premonition where I don't blame Guts by it, but things happen. So first, his surrogate mother dies of, is it a plague? She dies of like the plague or something like that. And a lot of them blame him for her death. And I think that's partly why Gambino sold him off as for sex to that other man. And then after he does sell him off to sex, Guts ends up killing that guy on the battlefield to make it look like it was a battlefield kill, but like, don't mess with me.
That was awesome.
Don't mess with me. You might have got me then.
Keep in mind,
I'm going to get you back.
Guts during this time?
Oh, he's what, like 11 or 12 maybe?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
He's
think
like
Probably not
9.
even that old. Maybe 9. He's
There he is,
young.
like-
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
I mean, you get to find out why he is the way that he is.
Yeah,
Like this is, I mean, this does not hold back. So,
it's horrible.
and then when he's 12 years old, I think, was he 12 or was he 9? You know, Donovan comes back and he's got like a leg that's missing and stuff. So Donovan gets drunk one night and tells him that.
Gambino.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Gambino tells him
Yeah, he gets injured. Yeah.
that,
Of course, which he kind of attributes to Guts, I think.
he tells him that I did sell you. Because the whole time, like, the most fucked up, heartbreaking part about this is that Guts still sees him as a father.
Yep.
And you don't see that until volume 12 when he's having a flashback, because you don't know, you don't see. That's the wonderful thing about this book, is you don't see what's going on inside of Guts' head. You just know his actions, right? Until he's talking to Casca in volume 12, and he was like, he calls him Gambino, and then he calls him father. And you're like,
after
damn, your heart
they're
breaks.
trying to have sex, and he's like, yeah.
And now she understands why he doesn't like to be touched, and why he doesn't like to be attached to anybody.
Yeah.
Holy crap. So...
Mhm.
I mean, past trauma, that is one of the main themes in Berserk.
Oh,
as a whole.
100%. Everyone in this book has some past trauma that has affected them in some way.
Yeah. So then, Guts, one drunken night, Gambino tells him that he did it, and he tries to attack Guts, and Guts protects himself. The best he could.
Because he blames Guts, right?
Right.
He blames him for everything that's happened to him, to his wife or woman. Yeah.
And he kills him. Kills this dude that was supposed to be his father figure. And in any, stereotypical story, these two would have gotten along, but this ain't sunshine and rainbows, that's for sure.
No.
It's a
Not
dark
by a long
world
shot.
from the beginning. So we are now fast forwarding some years. Guts is around 15 and just going from mercenary band to mercenary band, kind of keep practicing his sword, because people came after him. People were going after him because he killed Gambino.
Yes.
Right? They're like, you killed him, and now he's 15, 16, he gets older, and eventually he runs into this group of other mercenaries who are known as the Band of the Hawk. And the Band of the Hawk, they're a little bit different, right? They're not like your average mercenaries, and they're all led by the beautiful Griffith.
Yes.
Who's a badass swordsman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's badass in his own right.
In his own way. He doesn't. He fights with is it like a fencing
Like
sword?
a rapier.
A rapier. Thank you. He fights with a rapier, and if you've seen pictures
I just
already,
realized something.
nope. Don't say it.
Okay.
Don't say it.
No, not that one.
I was trying to
Not
find
that one.
Too late. Too
The other
late.
thing is the
Not that
artwork
one.
gradually gets so much better from volume 1, 2, and 3. By the time you get to about volume 4 and 5, Kentaro Miura has found his grind. Stride. Thank you. Like my dog. So this is what, the artwork in volume 1 looks like. And you can tell from this picture, Guts carries these giant swords, because even as a kid, that's what he used, like a giant sword compared to him. And Griffith is like the exact opposite. It's more elegant. It's fancier.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everything about him is elegant and fancy, from his hair to the way he carries himself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the Band of the Hawk, they take him out, and then he fights Griffith, and Griffith is like, literally says, no holds bar, like, I want you. Now you can take that any way you want. But Guts is like, nobody says that to me.
Yeah.
Fan theories?
Oh, there's a lot of fan theories.
Oh,
It's
100%.
crazy. The girly man Griffith. Girly man or not, that dude whoops some ass, though.
He is the prettiest man.
He sure is. By Shonen Griffith. So yeah, they get into a fight. He was like, if I win, you get to stay with my band, and you belong to me. You know, Guts like, I'm not gonna lose. And sure enough, he loses.
He does.
He loses this fight to Griffith,
who fights with a rapier.
He just steps on the sword.
Yeah.
Come on.
and
I'm
then
on top of your sword.
we fast forward 3 years. We get to meet. We get to know the Band of the Hawk even more. So it's Griffith with Rickard and Pippin and how do you say
Judeo?
Judeo? Is that how you say it?
I would say Judeo. Yeah.
And Corcus, who never liked Guts, and of course
Never.
Kafka,
I like
who is
Orcus.
her own way a badass.
I like all of them.
And then Guts gets he just becomes such a badass. His rank moves up. He eventually has his own men, and I think the only one that ever gets named in the book is Gaston. That's kind of like his dude. That
his
answers
dude.
to Guts. And the only reason I remember that was because my second read through, I'm like, what? Who the hell is this guy? I don't remember this guy.
Gaston.
Gaston, right? So now they're taking on different missions. They're going like, and the whole time you don't know what the drive is, right? Like they're a band of mercenaries, but Griffith has his eye on a kingdom. Like Griffith is like, I came from nothing. I am going to I'm going to take no matter what it takes and who I have to kill to get there. I'm going to have my own kingdom. Holy crap. And, you know, it got like Casca doesn't like him. Corcus doesn't like him.
Oh, gosh. Casca doesn't like
Casca hates him.
Casca does not like him a lot. We learn literally learn why.
This is the love triangle.
Yeah, because she's jealous.
Griffith, Casca, and Guts. And it's crazy because, you know, when you're reading it, you don't want to admit it because Guts is such a badass, but he does kind of have a thing for like not just Casca, but also Griffith in a different way. I don't know if it's sexual or what. You can make up your own mind.
This is so sweet. Where Pippin's talking to him, and he was like, "You'll find your place here." And
I love that scene.
I always
because he
look in front of the camera.
He recalls that later on in volume 12. He recalls that scene. He's like, "You remember when we were on top of that?"
It's so heartwarming.
A lot of this is heartbreaking, especially the more you read.
No, it's heartwarming at the time.
Heartbreaking,
and then later it's heartbreaking.
But you know, eventually they do start opening up to him. Mainly Pippin and Rickard and Judeo. Is that how you?
Yeah, Judeo and him have a lot of conversations.
Yes.
Throughout.
So you know they take on several missions. There's several monsters, and in one of these monsters, demons,
monsters.
Actually, no, I take it back. There's not. That's the cool thing about Berserk, I thought, was that he makes you forget that there were demons at the beginning of this book.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, because you're just watching almost like a historical fiction, right? Like you're watching like something you would see on Netflix. Oh, it's a bunch of guys that are fighting. And then out of nowhere, every once in a while, you start to see some magical elements. Like I love that Omar is so in love with
more times than I have. I don't blame him for taking it over.
I'm so sorry. My bad.
I get the privilege of doing House of Wax tomorrow, so don't worry about that.
She knows how much I love this.
If he could get the Berserk, that Brand of Sacrifice tattooed, that probably is.
Nope.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
No.
I'm going to get her drunk and I'm going to let her do it.
No.
We'll because it's evil. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yes!
We're going to have a party. I'll be like, guess what, guys?
I bought like a decal sticker of the Brand of the Sacrifice, and it's in my desk drawer because I can't bring myself to put it on anything.
I got too nervous.
I'm a geek and I want it, but I'm just going to hide it. I have going.
So, go ahead.
Dankin, we're going to get to that in a minute with the latest thing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
Amanda texted me and she's like, we're going to be talking about this shit.
Yeah, we're going to be having a conversation about this. Clearly, this is not written for a woman.
Excuse me? Anyway.
But I love Casca.
All right. So, like I was saying, there's small little things in there that he puts in there as far as to remind you that there might be some magical elements, like the little elf, what was it? Like the little elf dust that they put on Guts when he's hurt.
That heals him. Yeah.
Found somewhere. And then there's this fight where, like, I cannot remember the volume because I just reread these again, but they hear about the rumors of Nosferatu Sod in this castle.
Yes.
First of all, That's a fucking awesome name. If I had a
It
son,
is.
his name would be Nosferatu.
Gosh.
Holy crap.
I didn't know this.
That
Interesting. Okay.
first grade, my name's Nosferatu Zod. The teacher be like, damn, okay, you sit wherever you want to, son. Anyway, I love this story so much. So Zod is like rumored to be this guy that's like a demon, and everybody on Guts is like, I don't believe in that shit. And I'm just gonna go in there by myself and take him out because he's in the way of winning this war. So he does. He goes in there and he's like, I'm just gonna take good. Surely one man can't be that powerful. And this is the scene that he walks into, and you're like, oh. Okay, anybody that fights naked is already a badass.
Yeah.
He has a sword with two dudes, like just. Oh man, look at that.
Bob. Yeah.
So Guts is like,
Yo, it's pretty much the first time that he really meets his match.
absolutely.
Like, this is hard.
Because my boy, man, like he goes to try to cut him, and he just stops him with one hit. And then they start, and
Not used to that.
Guts is freaking out. This is the first time you see Guts like kind of have fear in his eyes as he's trying to block these shots. And Zod's like, I'm so strong, and then you get some inner thinking of Guts, like, oh, I think he's beyond human.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Right? You think so? No dude is that big and walking around naked unless he's got plans. And then it gets so much worse because Zod grows wings and horns, and you're like, oh my God, what is he? And you get, oh, dude.
Such an iconic scene.
Yeah.
And still, my boy Guts doesn't give up.
Yeah.
No, he never gives up ever.
Because Griffith jumps in the fight, and Griffith gets knocked out, right? Gets hurt. And this is one of the most coolest moments because this is all foreshadowing.
All of it.
Griffith, did we talk about Griffith having the...
No, so Griffith is actually what we find out early on after they meet is he has something around his neck, and it's a behelit. It's
Yes. Oh,
it's
wow.
that. It's little at the time.
Yeah.
He said it was he bought it from someone or from an old lady, and
Yeah, like
so from a prophet.
The old lady gave it to him,
Yeah,
I don't know.
saying it's the egg of the king. So he has this on his person, and as Omar is about to reveal, during the fight, Nosferatu Zod sees that around his neck.
Dude, and then his reaction.
Changes everything.
This is a giant monster that just killed like an army by himself. He's like, what is that? That's the egg. He calls it the egg of the
He
king.
said,
and that's-
Yeah, he calls it that.
With the crimson behelit of the god hand. Dum dum dum.
You sound just like Nosferatu.
And,
Zod.
oh yeah. And then he laughs. He's like, it's that kind of ploy. Then take heed when his ambition collapses. Death will pay you a visit, a death you can never escape. Boom. You're gonna get sacrificed.
So
Yep.
it's like he's laying prophecy, and Guts is like, what?
What?
And then he takes off flying.
Whatever.
Right, like he just
He's like, I'm not messing with this.
him out,
Ah.
right? And Guts is holy crap.
We should Gio, what's your
Yeah.
opinion at this moment?
Yeah, when you were reading this for the first time, what'd you think? Sorry.
Well, I'm used to the dark fantasy aspect, so it didn't shock me as much, but it's still badass to see all that stuff. And Guts is such a standard. He set the tropes for everybody else in manga with the big sword and his personality and all that stuff. And I just found it really awesome to have him finally find friendship and sort of a family aspect to the Band of the Hawk, because Gambino and everything else, yes, he thought it was family, but it really wasn't. It was sick and twisted.
Yep.
So now at this point, you start to see his character evolve and cherish what he's got, even though he's not going to outright admit it at first. But you see that relationship grow, especially with him being concerned over Griffith being knocked out. But he's still naive. He still doesn't know the real, the truth behind the truth of this world. Because Omar pointed it out earlier, you don't see magic right away, and there's a reason for that. We're not going to spoil it here, but it slowly starts to creep in, and you start realizing, like, oh crap, there's more to this than meets the eye. There's a sinister thing happening and brewing, and Zod is sort of your pariah character, and he's warning you ahead of time to the reader and to Guts. Obviously, Guts doesn't know, so. But yeah, that was extremely badass. I love that scene so much.
Oh man, that scene is so powerful because one of the things that he does is he also spaces out these appearances, right?
Oh,
Like,
very much so.
For a character like that's one of the beauty of being like your own manga right? You don't have to answer to your editors all the time and be like, look, man, Nosferatu Zod's a popular character. You got to make him show up in the next chapter. Miura is like, shit, I'm taking off for a year. You're like, if I'm making a damn manga.
30 chapters later.
Somebody mentioned that earlier. You gotta deal with.
You gotta deal. This thing has been going on since I was in high school. So
it's crazy.
When did Berserk start? 88?
I think it was 89 was the first chapter.
89? I was 2 years old when that
2 years
started.
old. Okay. Yeah. Now I feel old.
I was 8.
Yeah, 89. I was
Man, it was
5.
I feel Owen.
No, I was 4.
24. Okay.
You were 4.
I was 4 in 89.
What's up, Philip Owens? Mad World is absolutely right. Do not watch that 2016. It's a travesty.
No.
We deserve better than that. Watch the
Garbage.
original version. And the movies were not that bad. All right, back to this. So
Yeah, I watched
here comes.
I watched this 97 anime before reading this. Yes.
So now we get to the ladies' favorite part because there's a certain battle that's about to take place that something happens to Casca, who is otherwise a badass.
No. Let's do a sweet part, and then we'll get to that bullshit. All right. The sweet part with Griffith and Guts. All right. He's like, they're talking outside the castle because Griffith's doing his thing, trying to get a kingdom. And he said, tell me, do I need a reason each time I put myself in harm's way for your sake? So sweet.
And at this point,
what happened?
You don't know what Guts is thinking, right? It's like Guts is either like, is this dude coming on to me? Or is he like, this is okay?
That remember at the beginning where they were like they were washing themselves in the fountain.
Hold on.
Yes.
Flirting with each other.
I was gonna say there's another thing here that might offend some people too, and that is the use of some language that's here. Especially when it's Corcus and Guts. Yeah, there's some use of language to describe, homosexuality. So if that stuff offends you, that's in here. Speaking of, this is how, dude, this is exactly how I used to shower with my friends in the locker room. So let me see if I can find it. There it is. Oh no, here we go. So I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this. This is completely fine.
Straight up romance.
Shower.
They have it
looks like Casca there.
Yeah,
I thought that was Casca. I was like,
he's still young at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't filled out. He hasn't grown all the way.
Right, yeah.
He hasn't filled out. That's right.
He's
He hasn't
got
gone through
elf ears. Bye, Mitch.
Take care,
Bye,
Mitch.
Mitch. See you later.
Oh, okay, Casca.
Well, does the assassination take place first?
I
Because there's a kingdom that they get to, right?
Yes.
What is it? It's the hotel chain. The Wyndham?
Marriott.
Midlands. Oh, Wyndham. Yes, it's Wyndham. Sorry, it's Wyndham. You're right. It is. That's where my husband's staying right now at a Wyndham hotel. Yeah, you're right.
Amanda?
Yeah.
Taken from you, so you take it back.
He's playing Pokemon Go.
I'm not. I'm watching Amanda play Pokemon Go.
No, my husband got a shiny 94% Magikarp. It was pretty exciting. They got the park. I know.
Nice.
Watch out now. He can get his own kingdom. All right, Amanda.
Okay. So they end up at this kingdom, Wyndham, and this is where they hang out for a while, right?
No, Midland.
Midlands where they hang out. Okay.
Yeah.
So when they're at Wyndham, oh gosh, they are fighting. So there's been these battles going on for hundreds of years, and they're just mercenaries in these battles. And they end up having this one battle where Casca ends up getting, I guess, attacked in a pretty bad way, and Guts has to pretty much save her life. And in doing so, you have this awkward moment where it's just the two of them because they've kind of been separated from the rest of the band of the Hawks. And she's like, has a fever, and he has to like undress her. And this is a callback because after he was injured previously, when they first meets the band of Hawks, he has this weird fever dream of like a naked woman, like laying with him. And come to find out, Griffith had Casca lay with him because the warmth of a woman makes you better, I guess. Absolutely.
Wait, she was injured or was it her period?
It It is her period, but they think she's injured. So she's feverish, and he undresses her. What?
What about her? The battle. She's got her period. I'm sure that made you mad.
Yes, it did. Well, no, and that's yeah.
She's got her period, and she can't fight.
Yes, that's what I meant. Because it all like he's warming her up, and she thinks she's injured, and it turns out that she has her period.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. That's what I was getting to. It turns out she's her period, and he's like, women, like. And
it must be tough to be a woman. That's exactly what.
Yes, it must be tough to be a woman, and apparently. She talks about how I'm sorry I'm so weak. It's just because I'm a woman and it makes me weak because I have my period. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember.
Some people have genuine health issues.
They do when they have their period.
And maybe she did. And that's cool. I'm sure.
But to make the one woman warrior that you're going to have in the whole thing.
She has adrenaline. She's in battle. And she's supposed to be the best in the Band of the Hawk besides Guts. And then, I'm on my period. I can't fight. You are smarter than that, Kentaro, to come up with some kind of a plot device to get them two together.
Yes. Very much so.
When y'all are real hungry and you're like, we need to go Subway right now. And I'm like, as weak as you all are then, I do not want to mess with you all. So
it was very interesting, but yeah, at first I thought she really was injured, and that's why they got him alone together. But then come to find out it was just a period, and I was like, well, that's lame. Like she's just sickly because
y'all don't know she's anemic.
Again, yes,
I don't think.
However, she is established as the best warrior besides Guts and Griffith.
That's
and
true.
she is. Yeah. Anime world. Anemia will not stop her.
Superman's got his kryptonite. Casca's got her
period. But throughout this, we do get during this part, we do get a good, Casca's just always upset with Guts because he seems to not care about Griffith, and he's like a one-man army doing everything himself, and he doesn't care about anyone else.
That's odd. My girlfriend's always ready to fight at that time of the month.
Yeah, right? She should be rare to go. That's what I
mean. Yeah.
But it's they have some moments they discuss.
Something really sweet though, right? That leads into the moment where she falls, right? Like because I guess it was.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. Like, and then Gus takes care of her.
Yeah.
So he actually allows himself to touch somebody else.
Yeah.
Yes, he does take care of her. He holds her naked body.
Yeah, we as the readers don't know that, like why he doesn't touch people, but this is how
we kind of know. We can get the idea because of the rape early on.
Oh, I'm sorry. He has not made that clear
to her. We know, but yes.
But
right. So she just thinks he's a straight up asshole that doesn't care about anybody but himself.
Yeah.
Because the way that he fights. So during this time too, there's also an assassination plot for against Griffith, because Julius is the brother of the king, and he wants his son.
Now we're in Midland, right?
Now we're in Midland.
now we're in Midland. Okay, so they've been here for a time. The king loves Griffith. This is after Casca's period issues, and someone was like, maybe she lost too much blood and that was debilitating. Your period, we bleed for like 4 to 7 days. It's not like
we all were in the 5th grade. We know.
Not even if you have, in addition to other blood, like it shouldn't affect your body. Should be used to that. Anyways,
it really isn't that much blood at all.
It really isn't. It's not that much. That's why they created things.
They should have done a Mythbusters on this, like a Mythbusters episode.
What do they say? Never trust an animal that bleeds for 7 days and doesn't die.
All right, I'm just gonna mention we're only on 2.
Oh my gosh! Okay, wow, it's 8:46.
Bad acting though in this book is when Guts takes like. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not gonna skip that, I promise, because that is one of the most like. If you weren't a fan of Guts before, this will make you a fan, because Casca's still hurt, and Guts is like the enemy's still coming for them, and Guts tells her to run, and she tries to fight beside him, but she's still hurt.
Yes,
and he's like, "Go, I got this," and he takes on an army of 100 dudes by himself.
Becomes a legend in his own right.
Yep.
And becomes a legend because everybody starts calling him that's Captain Guts, the 100 army killer. Like when people start seeing him, and Dude, I love Wolverine and I love Conan, but I don't think he gets crazier and more badass than that moment right there where he is just like not giving up. And then when you think he's done, he's getting arrows through him.
Yeah.
He's going up against the tree and he still ain't done. He's chopping dudes up left and right. And of course, the Band of the Hawk come to save him.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this scene is
Look at that.
Huh?
Great.
The sun's the sun's gonna come up before I'm done splitting your all's heads.
Dude, what a
Basically,
badass.
Mhm.
And yeah, the Band of the Hawk gets there just to see like this massacre and Guts just leaning up against the tree. Like, and I think he even jokes about like her trying to wake him up. But yeah, this this kingdom decides to make Griffith a knight, which is unheard of.
Because he's
And
a commoner.
He's a commoner.
Yeah.
And eventually
Only ever happened in Knight's Tale, the movie with Heath Ledger. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. This is what it feels like. Okay. And yeah, people don't like that. Like, especially the King's brother. The King's brother is like, "No, we gotta assassinate this dude." And this is another moment that I think defines Guts, right? Because Griffith finds out that there's an assassination plot against him. He's like, "I need you to kill somebody for me." He's never asked him to go and assassinate somebody, right? He's asked him to fight, and Guts doesn't mind that. So this is the moment where he's like, "I need you to go and kill someone for me." And Guts like, "All right, who is it?" So he goes and kills Julius, right? But this is one of the most messed up
Because
scenes.
he feels like a genuine friend of Griffith.
Right.
Yes, at this point, yes.
moment.
Okay, Gio, would you do that for your friend?
For me, Gio, would
If
you kill?
Griffith,
Would you kill for me, Gio?
Is Omar that good of a friend?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
healthy, balanced individual.
Oh, well, Guts is not, and he's a good friend. So he goes and kills Julius,
Loyalty goes a long way.
and then witnessing this is Julius' son Adonis,
Ugh.
and Guts doesn't see who's at the door. He knows there's a witness. Takes his fucking horse killer of a sword and just stabs that poor kid. And the way that kid dies is not pretty.
No,
Because
it's
he's, like,
not.
reaching out, like coughing up blood.
Oh, it's awful.
And Guts, and again, you don't see the inner monologue, right? You don't know if he's like, "Oh man, I made a mistake. Oh, Jesus, poor kid." You just see eyes that look like shit. And then he doesn't have enough time to do anything because he has to react because there's people coming after him after this.
Mhm.
So he goes back to Griffin and he was like, "It was done." And Griffith is like, "Cool." This isn't the first attempt at trying to kill Griffith. The Queen eventually, after the next big fight, decides to poison him. However, it turns back around on her, and she gets killed and burned in the tower.
Yes.
So yeah, this is
Because yeah.
this was a big monumental scene, I think, with everyone just attacking him and he himself you don't know his drive yet. I love that about him. I love that about Guts is that he's doing things because he just likes to fight with a sword.
Yep.
I think he even mentions that, like, his sword is his way of living. He exists through his sword.
Yeah.
He doesn't know any other way. He's maybe trying to find a way, but yeah.
Well, he wants to try to find he's been fighting for Griffith's dream this whole time. And
oh yeah, that definitely pops up.
Yeah, and that's what they keep talking about.
That comes out, and he overhears it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Rob's on. Because he has a brand of the sacrifice.
Rob Zwollo.
Yeah. Let's see. What I want to show is like the difference between Griffith's facial expressions.
I know you like the book too.
And okay. Oh, here we go. I'm sure you know this, Gio. Like, Griffith can look so sweet and smiling, like just happy. And then he could be like
so menacing in those eyes.
Yes.
Yep. It's a very unnerving character face model for him.
Oh, he can just carry that smile.
Woo, look at that.
Exactly.
You're smart.
He is a
Use
smart
the
guy.
words face model.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
You said about Guts with his sword. Keep in mind, that's all he's known since he was a kid. He was brought up into war and conflict. So all he knows is hacking up stuff and killing people and fighting with his swords. That's his life.
It's true. It's his life.
So
He never really had a real childhood, has he?
Yeah.
He's going to come into conflict by breaking up from that.
And so
Yeah.
Mad World 1995 says, I love that Guts keeps moving forward no matter what. And that, you know what, that just brings, that's the heart of why I like it. There are horrible, evil things in here. He doesn't give up. And no, there aren't demons. There's not an eclipse, but horrible things happen. Evil things happen to people. And I feel like he's a role model. Like you just don't give up. He keeps going.
I think
he has to keep going for a lot of people.
Is that
represent?
That's what does that mean? What are you doing?
I don't know. Represent.
What is that? So
I'm
then
gonna go hide now.
And then we get to let's talk about what happens, because this is the big turning point where Guts decides that he wants to leave. He's like, I'm done.
I accidentally killed a boy for you.
Well, he's just done fighting for someone else's dream when he realizes that they're not equal. Like Griffith sees him as just cannon fodder almost, and he thought they were friends. And damn, that's pretty heartbreaking, right? Because you don't know if what relationship they do have. And so he leaves, right? And Casca's like, I can't believe you're leaving. And this is after him and Casca have had that thing. And she's having feelings for him. She wants to deny it, but doesn't know, right?
Yeah.
You can tell they have taken up the whole sky in that picture.
I know, because they've had, so at this point, him and Casca have had some very deep conversations about her backstory. So we learn more about Casca's backstory. We learn about how basically she is a girl and in a family of one too many children. Her father sells her off. The man who he sold her off to be a maid of the house tries to have his way with her. And Griffith's band of mercenaries come to her rescue. And he's basically like, he recognizes the fighter in her and takes her on. And she, in one way, idolizes and worships Griffith, but it's clear she has deep feelings for Griffith too. And so we've kind of learned that about her character, but we also know at the same time, a lot of these assassination attempts that we've seen recently stem from the fact that Griffith is clearly on some path towards power, and he has been courting the princess Charlotte of this king in Midland. And that's why Julius wants to kill him. That's why the mother, definitely the queen mother, wants to kill him. And eventually, as we come to find out, someone else also wants to have him in and actually succeeds in capturing Griffith once Guts is gone. So you have these interesting dynamics that are going on there. During this whole, we learn a little bit more about these different characters. So once Guts leaves, it's a turning point for a lot of people. Casca, Griffith, and Guts.
Yeah.
So,
our three main central characters.
Griffith gets kidnapped. And
after he takes the virginity of the princess in I don't know if it's like, is it the rape, but she wanted it rape? I'm not quite sure how it really, I don't know what you would I don't know how you would pull that off if you made it live action.
It was really, it was
messed up. Everything, yes. It's evil in its own
way. A lot of things are in this book, right? A lot of things are in this world. So
and why he get kidnapped? Because her father
that dude
didn't want her to be the commoner, but even worse, her father has a thing for her, and then you get this really gross scene of her sleeping and her father licking her nipples, and I was just like, wow, this is like next level Game of Thrones, like way above anything else you could imagine.
This was my Game of Thrones growing up. And before Game of Thrones, I was reading this. I was like, man, this is messed up.
I had to read this fast just so my daughter wouldn't look over and say, "Mommy, what are you reading?" I was like, "Yeah."
Man,
she's only 5.
Almost 20 years ago, when I never thought I'd be reading this next to my kids, especially the Eclipse. So everything is leading up to this thing called the Eclipse.
Good thing for Switches.
And... they were all occupied.
Yes, thank goodness for Pokemon on Netflix. God bless that.
But so then we jump forward a year where like the Band of the Hawk is being hunted down because the king wants everybody that was associated with Griffith just gone. And then eventually Guts comes back when he finds out that now Casca's leading them, and they're like, all right, let's go bust our boy out. So they go.
But not before they have
Oh
They-
yeah.
not before
that's right.
Casca and Guts finally consummate their feelings for each other,
Mhm.
and they have some really sexy sex. That really sexy sex against a tree.
That was Guts' first time too, boy.
Yeah, and her
What
first
happens when
time.
you're wielding a sword like that your entire life, man.
Yep,
Said
both
he
of them
wanted
were first.
a wound. He wouldn't mind a wound from her that he could say was from
Yeah.
her. And
Yeah,
That was pretty hot. So
I was thinking romantic and sweet.
yeah, me too. Now this is when like demons start appearing, right? Like in the background, you start seeing like some demons in the forest and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on? Rickard himself witnesses like his friends get eaten. And this is Rickard, right? Now it's weird because in the 1997 anime, you're left with a cliffhanger of Rickard's face. You don't know whether he lives or dies. You just assume he dies because he's part of the Eclipse. That's where it ends. Because one thing we didn't talk about was this badass known as the Skull Knight. The Skull Knight made an appearance earlier and has always been hinted to be the what is his name? King the Skull King. The king that
the original
and liberated everybody.
Yeah. Oh goodness, I don't remember.
It's in the
I don't remember his name.
chapter 12. As they're
okay,
going to go and get Griffith, they're talking about the legend of the Skull King. Thank you so much,
No,
Gabriel.
that's
It's Gazeric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's, and honestly, I think that's probably who it is, and because later on you find out where that armor kind of came from and where Guts' path may be going. So they get Griffith out, and fast forward to Griffith is now got no tongue. He ain't got no tendons.
Woo, he's in a
Nope.
He's got this hawk on.
The fact that he's still alive.
Apparently they peeled his face off, so you never see that. You never really see
No.
rescues him, and he's so frail and crazy eyes.
Dude, that scene was emotional too, when Guts is just holding him, right? And he starts breaking down because he's partly at fault. He left.
Yeah.
And
He
all
left
of that.
No, he definitely feels guilty.
Yeah, and I think he wasn't there to protect Griffith.
So they escape. And damn, let's just talk about this, and then we get to talking about what we enjoyed because
It's what we enjoyed.
So the princess goes back to the king because she gets poisoned. They send out some assassins. They send out this other guy named what's his name? Weldon, the dog man dude.
Yeah, the dog man
and then you
who has sex with all these women. Yeah.
I mean that was cool but not the demon part.
Okay, cool.
And then he himself is like a demon, and that's when you get what's happening here. So they take the egg of the king. Griffith finds it as he gets away from everybody in his own frail state in a little wagon.
Crawls away. Yeah,
And
after he does this weird thing where he rolls himself on top of Casca, and I was like, how is it even possible?
Yeah, that was.
He tries to force himself on top of her.
And he keeps watching, from his eyes, he can see that clearly Casca and Guts are together, right? In a way, the way they hold each other now. And, obviously there's something there.
It's an insult to his ego because he's
yeah.
always been in control. Now he doesn't have anything under his grasp, and he's losing everything. And that was the beginning of the end for him as a likable character, at least for me, because Guts left, and you feel like he's partially at fault, but he rushed into everything that happened into with the princess and everything. That's his fault. He could have taken his time to do his political upheaval shenanigans, but nope.
Yeah.
So I feel no remorse whatsoever after this.
So
Neither do I. Who would?
Really interesting because I see people in the chat mentioning this, but the Black Dogs and the what's his name, Wayland.
We did.
They never appeared in the anime.
Yeah,
either
they don't.
Anime or the movie adaptation.
And that was disturbing. That was evil.
Well, and I also think maybe it was too much. I think the movies paced it well, where you're literally don't expect demon shit until you get to the.
It happens, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
he turns into a demon, and then he tries to rape
before you get to
Casca with his demon dick.
Yeah, man, and Guts just stabs it. Oh, that was so
He's like,
awesome.
I'm gonna cut that thing up. Like Lorena Bobbitt. Let's go.
Easy now. Yeah, that name.
People don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
That name is forever not allowed on the channel.
Like, shoo.
All right. So then we get to the reunion between.
Look, DBZ All Star saying that Griffith broke inside when guys left him. That's why he went on to the princess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could tell that was grudge sex.
The way he went at her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It's not for everybody, Mars Eclipse. Absolutely not.
It is not. Yeah. So then Griffith crawls towards, because he's having like a vision of himself. Like you see these like, you're seeing this like flashback of him as a young boy running to the kingdom, right? It's his vision of the being at the kingdom. And he ends up crawling to the water, and that's where the Behelit happens to be. Because of course it will always find its way back to him. And then this tornado void opens up. And here comes the chaos.
Here comes
everything hits the fan.
Yeah, like the facial expression that Guts, who never has any freaking fear, he's like, this is not going to be good. And sure enough, right?
And he always thinks about what Nosferatu Zod had said, right? He thought the whole when the time comes thing was back when Waylon, the Wolfman, when they fought him. He thought that was it.
Yeah.
And then this happens. Like, wait a minute.
Dude. So that happened. And they fought.
So that happened.
And they got him out. Now comes Griffith's decision, right? Because it all comes to this. It all comes to this moment where the God Hand appears. And there's 4 of them at this time. And they give him the option, Do you make the sacrifice to get what you want? You're going to, because, it's all about casuality. And actually, let me show you. Okay, so then
It's all about cause, yeah.
So there it is, all the God Hand. So again, spoilers, but this is the most fucked up moment, I think, because this is his friend, right? This is the guy that he went in to go and save multiple times, that he killed for. And when given the chance to make his band of the Hawk, a sacrifice in order to achieve his dream, shit, he says yes.
Why? Because
he says yes.
He blames Griffith, or he blames Guts for losing sight of what he was wanting to do.
Yeah, that ambition got too big.
Too great for him.
And they all get a brand of the sacrifice, and the brand is on any part of the body, but I mean, it is just branded. Everybody. Guts gets it on his neck. Casca gets it on her chest. I think
right here.
On his arm. So all these people that we've been growing to like get to know and love get slaughtered. So rough. I mean, me and my buddy, when we watched this in '98, we both looked at each other when Corcus got it, and we were like, I don't want to go that way. That was messed up.
Do you have that scene, Melanie?
This big titty woman approaching Corcus, and he's just laying on her chest, and then it's just behind her is this giant, or she is a giant demon that's just so messed up, and then like she goes and crunches on his head. We don't even see my boy Pippin die. Pippin literally gets his whole back ripped off.
Yes.
And, Judeo.
He tries to save Casca.
And he's hiding his feelings for her too. He's like, I was never brave enough to say these things, and instead he was like, you cry too much.
Yeah, that's the last thing he says to her. And he's like, this is
like,
it?
I thought I was going to be smoother than that. It was so sweet and messed up, but he went out like a freaking champ, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's, like, he saved her. And then, holy crap, dude. And then, it's not, the betrayal's not even over. This, to me, is the definition of betrayal. And then on top of that, you get Femto, right? And that is, you forgot about the Albion dude thing in the Tower of the Sacrifice with all the marked corpses. Albion,
dude.
I did skip around a little bit because we are talking about the first 13 volumes, and it was a lot, and we're an hour in. So
because we're already an hour in. Usually this is only an hour show.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. So He's already said yes. He's already killed all his friends. On top, and now he transforms into this being known as Femto, right? Which is the hawk. What is it called? Like the devil hawk or whatever, the bird something. Okay. He's saying it's the tower where Griffith was kept. Yes. So that was a foreshadowing of like the sacrifice, right? Like the brand of the sacrifice. And at the bottom, you see all the brands on people. You don't know what it is then, right? You've seen the brand before on Guts, but you don't know what it is until you actually get to the Eclipse. So Griffith turns into this new god, part of the god hand, the fifth god hand named Femto.
Yes.
Guts climbs up to get him, and he's being held down. Some like a demon is chomping at his arm, and Femto just grabs Casca and brutally rapes her in front.
Not before she's like kind of brutally raped by demons,
right?
Because there's too. She's been taken by the demons first, and then you see like a very graphic, like sharp thing going up into her hoo-ha. So that happened.
And Guts' reaction of never stopping, he takes his freaking sword, like his broken sword, and just cuts his arm off to try to go and save her. And
she's like, "Don't look."
Yeah, well, that's the very last. That's the very last thing you see is he is watching Casca get raped by his best friend, right? Somebody that he loves and thought of as a brother,
and someone she worshipped.
And this demon hand is just crushing his eye, and you see blood from his perspective, right? And then, damn, that's where it ends. And keep in mind, in 1997, that's where it ended.
Yes, I remember that too.
Yes. Watching him, and then after the credits, you see Guts as the Black Swordsman pick up his giant horse killer and put it on and take off, and you're like, "What? How did he get out?" That wasn't until 2000 when the 13th volume. Because one thing about me, I love Berserk. It's my favorite manga of all time. But I also respect Berserk. I will not read scans.
Yeah, somebody said.
I will not read.
The latest chapter is awesome. We
are talking about fucking Berserk. It deserves to be read physically. I can't read scans, and I know that the new chapters are out, and that's wonderful if you're reading them that way, but I can't do it. It does, to me, it's earned every bit of respect, and I have to wait for a physical release. So
I don't blame you.
We end with the Skull Knight coming in and saving Casca and Guts, and tells Rickard that these two are not meant to die yet. Guts wakes up sometime later, like, what happened? And holy hell, he loses it when he realizes what happened. Casca is a mess. Casca is no longer Casca. Her brain is broken. She's like
a child.
She's a child. And then Guts runs into the Skull Knight, and the Skull Knight tells him how different he is now, how he's going to be able to see these things that other people can't, how demons are attracted to him.
Every night he'll have to fight demons.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's where volume 13
and that's why for Valentine's Day I made this for Omar.
She did.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
It's a cross stitch. I just looked at a digital, digitalized picture online and did my best to copy it, and it's hanging above.
Good job.
That looks awesome.
So I've talked a lot. So why don't you all? What were your thoughts? Amanda, this is your first time.
Yeah, this is the first. Like,
what did you think?
Yeah, it's the first time I ever read it. I mean, my husband wanted me to watch the anime, and it was in '97. We watched that. God, probably in like 2013. So it's 2012, 2013.
What's the rating again? I just wanted you to do that noise again. Sorry.
And
we didn't talk about this. Like Femto's eyes.
Oh yeah.
That was like.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I am banging your chick.
Yeah. He knew, and that's all part of. It's all in Griffith because that. Yeah. So how do I feel about it? It's definitely not a book I would just normally pick up myself and read. It's a little graphic for me. The first like 4 volumes, I was like, I don't know, especially the Golden Age backstory. I'm not a fan of Puck, but once we started getting into I know. I'm sorry. Sometimes
He's
those
my dude.
characters.
He's a little dude. I like him.
I know he just.
I love Puck.
And I wasn't a fan of Guts either in those first few volumes, little volumes. Sorry, when I say it, I'm talking about the little ones I had to read. I don't have a deluxe, so I have to read it by the little volumes.
I never knew that. Okay.
Yeah. So at first I wasn't really a big fan of Guts, and like I said, it'd been such a long time since I'd seen the anime. I kind of had forgotten what his character was like, and then I was like, this is definitely a book for boys. I don't know how I'm gonna get through this.
Boys, okay.
For boys, because every time then once I got through that and I started reading more of Guts' backstory and more of the interaction with him and Griffith, which I think that central relationship with him, Griffith, and Casca was probably the most intriguing thing to me. I could skip all of the battle scenes. I know that's like that stuff a lot of people love, but I could skip all of that and go straight for the inner drama. But again, that's just what I'm drawn to. That's who I am. So that's why for me that ending was so powerful. Watching, like, I don't like rape like any much as probably the next person, but that was very powerful to watch that whole scene.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was intense. All the feelings and everything like that. And I love, stories of people who are trying to get to their, what their dreams are and what they're trying to overcome. So towards the end, I enjoyed a lot more. But yes, there is some middle filler battle scenes that I could probably do without because I'm just not drawn to those types of stories. Not to say that it's not good and necessary for the story. Obviously it is because it helps grow the characters and their relationships together. But that's kind of my first thoughts after reading these books.
You mentioned something about
Yes.
the love triangle, which is what draws you in.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of your? You like the action too, though. But would you say the love triangle?
Yeah,
is what?
I like both.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely. I pay attention to every panel of the battles, and I was definitely intrigued by the love triangle. I just love every single aspect. What about you, Gio?
It also helps that Miura has a great sense of fluidity with his battles, and it's so energetic and pleasing to watch. When you see a swing of a sword, the action follows through, and you have a really satisfying conclusion to the movement, and especially the big set pieces with the splash pages and the attention to detail on the armors to freaking grunts out in the background. You still get what they're doing, and
Yeah.
The details on everybody's faces. From an artistic point, I love this book so much. Every single page was just awesome. And I don't know, I like the idea that this book is straight up for boys, like you said, Amanda, but it also does have a lot of shoujo sensibilities in character interactions and relationships and drama and just the psychological aspect of these people living in a very hellish time, because it's not our world. It's based on our world, but it's more.
It's like a medieval
darker
world.
Yeah, it's darker, more brutal, sinister, and to see the growth from such an evil place into something wholesome, like a relationship between Guts and Casca, it's a very beautiful thing. And I think you'll like the series a lot more after the Golden Age stuff, because it does go into the more fantastical realm.
Yeah.
I certainly love the characters that are going to be introduced after that. I actually really love that part.
Barney's all the way. Oh my gosh, that chick is crazy.
Somebody who said that she's a
waifu.
Waifu? Yeah.
Waifu material. Yeah. Also, one of my favorite characters is not out yet. I don't want to spoil it, but should I say who it is?
It's just a name.
The Shirky. Or Shirk, however you say her name. She's one of my favorite characters.
No, I like Serpico. Serpico is the man.
I always like everybody.
But in the end, I just to summarize what I was going to say, I love perseverance and not giving up. And in the face of tragedy, how can you pick yourself up and continue and continue living? That is a very hard thing to do. And to have a character like Guts represent that, it's very inspiring. And if you can handle the violence and the craziness, you're going to have a life-changing experience with the manga. You're really going to enjoy it. Just remind yourself that it's fiction, and it's brutal, but sometimes you have to go through that stuff to see the rising sun and realize, oh, it's going to be better if we keep going.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I will say that one of my favorite quotes is from Jack Kirby, right? And Jack Kirby said that the villains make the heroes. And I think in order for you to appreciate Guts for who he is, these people are pure evil, like vile, like the king and the people that sell their friends out. In order to appreciate Guts, you have to make these characters, and they are freaking as evil as they can get. And one of my favorite things
I want
about
to say,
all this,
like, over the top. Not over. I mean, some of this in real life does happen, and so not over the top. But then the fantastical elements, right, of like the Eclipse, it's so over the top. Like you're saying, to make Guts not ambition, but his determination even more powerful.
To show how powerful. Yeah, they're caricatures of what an evil king or an evil lord would look like, almost.
Because these things happen.
They have to be exaggerated.
Borrowed elements from the Middle Ages and
oh gosh, yeah, that's all real stuff. I'm sure kings slept with their daughters or married relative, like young daughters, little girls. All the time, all that stuff. Yeah.
I will say this, like, I've never grown to care about a group of characters so much in such a little amount of time, other than probably X-Men and things like that. But the Band of the Hawk became like family, like, because I was reading these as they were coming out in I think they were doing them every 4 months, and I watched the anime, and I'm like, man, this is such a good, because he didn't have a family, right? And he finally found this group, and oh my god, there's a heartbreaking moment later on when he's looking at his new group of friends. Oh,
yeah.
He's
person to read
for my daughters.
Series. Nope.
For my daughters, 35.
Oh God, I mean,
for my kids, 35. Appropriate. Honestly, I was
NC 17.
Yeah.
I watched that in 98.
After we just talked about the wonderful lessons, right? Yeah, you got to be mature to. I'd say just the maturity level, right? There's not a specific. I mean,
I think I would have been this in high school and probably middle school.
I mean, there's a lot.
No, I would never let a middle. No, I mean, middle school. I thought, people probably thought me watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer was too risque in middle school. But this in middle school. I don't know. I mean, I was writing NSYNC fan fiction that was erotic, but I didn't know what I was writing at the time. No.
Saying 18. And Jordan, I was just saying earlier, I made a Perler B Behelit. I want my own plush Betchy. I'll call it Betchy. Please
Middle school boys.
I'm pretty sure my husband read this in middle school.
And hey, Greg Garland, good job filling out your ballot.
My man, nice. Get out that vote, man.
Get that vote. Support the vote.
What?
Now let's rate this book. Hellraiser, yeah, we were just talking about that. Like a lot of these characters from the God Hand, they all look like Hellraiser.
One of them looks like the Mars Attack aliens.
It really did. You're right.
Yeah.
That dude was still creepy when the Eclipse behind him. I'm like,
that came out in 97, didn't it? Mars Attacks, right? So
95 something.
95, something like that. So,
what are the things that you didn't like about this, Amanda? I
kind of talked about. I mean, other than like someone has said like filler, like what I mean the battles. Like I think Gabriel said, when you want the story to move along, sometimes the battles might seem like fillers because I know what the main story is and I want to get back to that, which is Griffith's ambition. I understand the battles are a means to an end, but the political, interplay with Griffith and everything like that, that was what interests me. So I don't know. I mean, I think I kind of talked about what I really didn't like the most out of it, which is maybe that kind of stuff. But I thought the artwork was fantastic. I mean, the women were hot.
Correct.
The sex scenes were hot.
The sex scenes were.
I'm pretty sure they turned me on in ways I shouldn't be at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. But
Tuesday would be okay.
Then it did
Not
its
a
job.
Tuesday, not when I was trying to do work.
That's for live action version of Berserk.
Live action, golly, I don't even think about that because I don't think you would do
Could you
live
even
action.
do it?
Tom
Let's get a
Holland.
proper anime
Shut up!
first.
I mean, if Tom Holland did it, I'd be okay.
Tom Holland and Rickard.
That's Rickard. That would be what they'd hire him for. But
not
that's what
a man alive that could play the role of Guts.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. And
No.
There is not a sexy man alive that could play.
not even Joe Manganiello. Wait, no, he's too
I
old.
love
Never
Joe
mind.
Manganiello. He's a good looking dude, but nah, man, nobody could.
But
do
who would play Griffith? That's the biggest thing because
Oh,
I
Griffith.
don't know a man like Ezra Miller. Like I'm trying to find a man beautiful enough,
That
like more like in that would play that
the
character.
closest I can think for Guts is the dude that was Aquaman. And then
yeah, Jason Momoa. That's what Jordan said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jason Momoa could do it. Yeah.
Not good enough. We put him on a pedestal. It doesn't matter.
Like you gotta be
But
really,
acting wise, I just feel like I don't know if Momoa could do that.
Yeah.
really. Guts is not that
Sure.
deep.
But
like,
no, it's not that he's deep, but
No,
he's
but
like the Jon Snow of Berserk, except he's actually does something. He does.
I don't even think about live action because it's just so difficult. All right.
Yeah.
Out of 10, for anybody that has read this, even if you're watching later and you can comment down below, what would you rate the first 13 volumes of
Goes
Berserk?
to the Eclipse.
Or the Golden Age arc all the way to
Okay.
the Eclipse?
Hey, guess what?
What?
10.
10. Good answer. You'd be out that door. Gio,
Golden Age is awesome.
you're our guest. What about you? I was going to ask our guest to go first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a masterpiece, but since we're judging from the very first volume,
Mhm.
I have to give it a 9.5 out of 10 because those first three books, Miura is starting to get to know what he's creating, and there's a lot of stereotypical caricatures there, and I didn't love it as much as everything else, so it just a little bit down. But if we were just judging the Golden Age, easily a masterpiece, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I forget it's 3 volumes.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
Yeah.
What about you?
That's a lot.
What volume
Me?
Yeah.
I would give it probably a 9 out of 10, mainly because that intro and the other things that I mentioned. So
Wow, 9 out of 10 though.
That's good. That's good. That's what
well,
I'm-
overall, I love the story, and I remember being drawn in by the anime alone. So it wouldn't surprise me that I'd end up being drawn into the manga.
Gotcha. Yeah, people in the chat, they're saying 10, 9, 11.
Except for that guy that
100%.
made 3 different accounts to come and say this is the what do you call it? It was like
Oh,
the
was it?
worst thing.
Something about
Disgusting, something
That's
funny.
not- Sorry, you can't like stand a little violence in your life.
Scary.
I would
Played by a woman.
It's-
Someone
it's-
I thought.
the Golden Arc by far faces out every bad thing that happened. The relationship building between these characters and the growth of Gut. Oh, hell yes. And the sex scenes. 10 out of 10. Masterpiece.
Yeah. First of all, this is a good one. So Flo Mofo says Timothy Chalamet for Griffith. I
Even
could
he's
see-
not that pretty. Dude,
He's
Griffith-
pretty though. He's
Griffith-
pretty pretty.
Griffith had dudes. Griffith had Guts head turning on. Damn. Oh shit, that's might be a dude. No, it's a God, this is so good.
Sometimes it was hard for me. Like, is he?
What about, are these Evergreen?
The deluxe editions are Evergreen. That's when I was talking back to Dark Horse.
Yeah.
They told me that these are going to be Evergreen, so just be patient when they go out of print. And somebody was asking about the Van Omnibus. Van Omnibus Volume 3, that will come out tomorrow. Comes out tomorrow. I had to get the approval of someone other than David for that, so that comes out tomorrow. Zoe Kravitz is Casca. See, like,
Oh, I can
Griffith
see
is
that.
too pretty that I can't
Tilda
cast Griffith.
She's beautiful.
And
Tilda Swinton is Griffith. Yeah, she's evil too. She can be evil and good. They just have to
Real
give her that-
life evil?
okay, what about
What do you guys think about the claim that everything after the Golden Age? No, No, I don't.
I
Agree.
don't know. I haven't
No.
read anything past
Well,
this.
claim that it's bad or whatever. I don't agree. Actually, the next arc is one of the most important for Guts in terms of his development.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, yep.
Like,
Yeah.
dude.
It's kind of like though I do.
Out of every
Go ahead, Gia.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, out of every traumatic experience, there needs to be growth, and for a character to experience all the, anger and depression and rage and all that stuff. So you're going to get uneven chapters, but it's a story about growth and the ultimate comeback, because the hero's not going to sit there and like, oh, well, this happened, now I can't do anything about it. You got to pick yourself up and become a better version of yourself, and the story provides that with all the different characters that start showing up, and the character just keeps getting better and better, and the story picks up immensely. I think it's fantastic. I don't like Mothra thingy later on, but
Yeah,
whatever her name was, but other than that, everything else was solid.
I think.
Wait, who? I thought you said Mothra.
Mothra, because I don't know her name. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but
I know.
winged,
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
she
I will
looks like
say
a moth.
Yeah.
to me, that's what kept me reading. How do you move on from this? How does Guts
Mhm.
keep on going?
Hmm.
How does he learn to trust again when other characters, and then the twists and turns that happen later on with some of those other characters, and you're like, oh my god, there's hope, because there's not a glimmer of hope at the end of this. Casca's got the mind of a child. Guts is broken. He's lost an arm. He's lost an eye.
Yeah.
How the hell does he move on? No, I'm sorry, Lionheart. The video will come out tomorrow.
The video, not
Vin Omnibus comes out
He's like, wait a minute, get on there.
next day or Wednesday. Where you get your books.
So, Jaggernaut, I watched this movie before reading the story.
Ditto.
I did something weird. I watched the movies, and then I read from
The movie forward.
the Eclipse forward, and then I went back and read the manga, and then read all the way forward, because it's just a good story. I enjoy it over and over, right? So, in my opinion, no, just
I 100% tell people, you want to know what Berserk is like?
Rob says read the manga before.
Like, I tell people that, because a lot of people don't know what Berserk is. Like, when I made my very first video, I got so many people hooked on Berserk. They were like, I don't know what this is. And then I get messages to this day. They're like, dude, thank you so much for that video, Berserk. You're right. This is like the best thing ever. And I don't even read manga. But one of the things that I said on that video was, you may want to check out the movies first, because if this is your first taste of manga, this may not be for you. A lot of the jokes in here may turn you off, and it's not like that later on.
Oh,
Like a lot of the puck jokes.
Somebody was asking that earlier. Like, was it Philip? That
Philip's already read.
never
all this.
read. Oh, somebody
No,
said
someone did ask, is this a good manga to read if it's your first
to
one?
start with, absolutely, because it's worked on so many other people. But just keep in mind that the first 3 volumes don't represent the tone of the series later on. What does
Yeah,
Evergreen
yeah.
mean for deluxe editions? Evergreen means they're always in print. That you're always going to find them. The publisher knows that these books are so popular, they're just going to keep them in print. That's what that means.
Mhm.
Not for the faint of heart. Absolutely.
No.
Oh,
No.
That was
it
Phil,
you.
yeah.
There you go.
Dude,
That was Phil, yeah.
Yeah.
if you've never read a manga, absolutely, this can be your first.
Just
I always
like that.
recommend this, Blade of the Immortal and Berserk, the abridged series.
All right,
Encourage you-
DBZ All Star. Do you watch Abridged series? I get from your username there, that you probably like DBC Abridged as well.
Oh.
I didn't know this existed though. I want to watch it.
Hell no, you can't do that to
It's just for
Berserk.
fun.
Okay, you can do that.
DBZ All Star, tell me all about it. All right.
It's imperative. Is it imperative to read the deluxe format or just the regular manga? Been hearing your praise for this so long, and would love to get into it. For me, the thing is with the deluxe format is that it's perfection. Miura's artwork and attention
See that.
the minute amount of detail that goes into the brick of a building, not bricks, a brick of one
Mhm.
building. You'll appreciate the art so much more.
It's
when you
gorgeous.
have the deluxe editions. In the deluxe editions, you'll have no gutter loss, because there's some amazing scenes later on that you wish splash pages looked better. So
It's like going back to the trades and omnibus debate. You want the bigger format to enjoy the art.
Mm-hmm.
what is your favorite moment in Berserk? I'm not gonna lie.
That's a good question.
This isn't a spoiler, but I cried in volume 40 because I have been waiting for that moment since 1997. 20 plus years. And
I don't know what that means.
And I looked at my wife, and she was crying because she was reading it too, and I'm like, oh, dude,
so we can't tell it, right? It's
I can't say what happens, but when you get to volume 40, something happens, and it's perfect.
Well, what about in the Golden
Age? The dialogue
Age?
was perfect. In the Golden Age, oh God, there's so many good moments.
Yeah, I don't think I could pick one.
There's so many good moments.
What about you all?
What about you all?
I
What was
like
your favorite Berserk that you read?
We didn't show it earlier, but the scene where they're having the duel in the snowy mountain before Guts leaves, and you see that beautiful panel of him just pointing his sword at Griffith. That's one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, you had figures for that scene. Were they?
No, I play with them to make reenact that scene.
Okay. Let's see. DBZ All-Star, answer my question. HBI2K. Do you say that?
I don't.
HB also went on to make a bridge series for both Gantz and Vision of
Escaflowne. I love Escaflowne. And
I sang you the song for Valentine's Day.
You did.
Wow, we got geeky Valentine's Day.
Not that song.
Well, no.
You sounded better than that.
I sang it in Japanese. But there were Japanese foreign exchange students, and I wanted to like sing it and see if I did good, but I was too scared because I was only like 20 years old. Okay.
Amanda, do you have a favorant moment?
Favorite moment? I mean, I think it's probably when Casca and Guts got it on.
That was good.
Well, not just that one, but their whole discussion and everything like that, just them growing closer. But yeah, that might have been my favorite.
Stairway Griffith Dream Speech, that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was wonderful as well.
Actually, the moments between when Guts realizes that this is his family, I think that's I fell in love with this book. It was perfect. Because it became less about survival, demon, dark fantasy, and more about family and what you're willing to give up. That's why I love Berserk. It's phenomenal.
DBZ All-Star says you should, what's it called? You should play Forces should play every time Omar pops open a new volume of Berserk to read.
Bonfire.
Somebody mentioned this earlier. If it was you, Gabriel, Bonfire Dreams.
Bonfire Dreams.
That's a lot of feels.
Miura also, it's weird because everybody's like, he took a break, but he also did that what was it called? Maximo series? Shot. It was like Attack on Titan, kind of. It was about giants. Was it called Maxim? Something like that. Maximo or something. I have it. Also published by Dark Horse. And I thought that was really weird. He was like, I'm going to take a break. And everybody expected him to take a break like he normally does. Giganto Maxia. Thank you so much. But no, he went on to do another manga. And I was like, what the hell? How did you finish that? We're still waiting on.
He collaborates with the RPG stuff for the video game. I forgot which video game it is. I'm like, dude, just focus on the manga. I don't want to keep waiting 100 more years.
A video game addict?
I'm sure.
So maybe that's what you're referring to.
Maybe he's like George R.R. Martin with the NFL, right? Like he stops writing during NFL season. That's why we're not going to get Song of the Fire. So maybe like Miura's like that with. Well, I know like a lot of his costumes and settings, like that's what Dark Souls did and Demon Souls did.
Yeah.
What volume do you for? What was it? 5 years ago, Miura said that this is the last arc. How long that lasts, I don't know. It could be It could be another decade. It could be 30 more volumes. I don't know. But he said this is the final arc. And holy crap.
I think if he can end it like at volume 60 or a good number like that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I doubt it, but
60. That'd be 20 more volumes. Not enough. I want this to keep going until I stop.
Part of your life.
I do want an ending though.
Oh yeah, it deserves an ending. It'll get an ending. I just hope he doesn't get bored with it and he's like, okay. And then, ... 5 years later, Guts finds Griffith. And they start a family. That was rough too when Griffith was daydreaming about him and Casca having a kid named Guts, playing with a dog named Pippin. I was like, damn, dude, this is how, okay.
This is how it's going to end.
Let's see. I also remember Casca wiping blood off his forehead after rescuing Griffith. That man had a dagger for eyes watching them interact, right?
Oh, yeah.
We need a Skull Knight. Dude, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, he's
He
pretty
said,
cool. We didn't even really talk about Skull Knight, just a little bit.
well, we can't because the next few chapters afterward kind of reveal, you get the idea of where the Skull Knight, what he was, right?
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, I don't think I knew much about him up to this point.
Ago, he said he was going to do a Skull Knight solo story.
That's cool.
So, okay, chapter 362 was insane, but I believe you guys only read.
Only physical.
Yeah, only physical. Just for this.
Only physical.
Yeah. Everything else is a free game. Just it's earned my respect, and I can't do digital. I love when Pippin brought Guts down the stairs for a drink. Yes, that was so awesome.
Yeah, that was nice.
All their family, man. So we've been going for about an hour and a half. This is my last show for about a month on Old Reader, New Reader. I'll be doing videos every day still. But as far as Old Reader, New Reader, Amanda and I are going to take a break. Her husband's coming back from the military, and she's going to spend some time with him.
5 days.
She's going to spend 4 days with him. Take him out of the house because she forgot how annoying men are. And I'm gonna take a month off to focus on the channel.
To focus on filming.
Other things that I can make.
The tour.
And then doing the tour of my room, which I know you all have been asking for a while, but that's coming in November. So
good luck with that.
Dude, when Gaston realizes he's in a story, that was heartbreaking too. And when he was like, I didn't nobody in the story. Who's going to be on with Maddie? Maddie's going to have
rotating guests.
Like, I don't know, Melanie, Tina, maybe. One night. Could be anybody. Could be me. No, I'm just kidding.
Could be
not me.
For update, you're going to be updating read orders.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm not taking a break from the channel, just taking a break from the show. So, yes, DBC All-Star, thank you. This moment, I'm just going to remind everybody to please hit that like button and ring that bell for notifications.
Thanks,
that's right.
Thank you. I really suck at reminding people. Gio, my man, where can people find you when you're not chilling with us?
You can find me on my channel, A Week in Geekdom, where I talk about anime, manga, a little bit of comics here and there, but mostly anime and manga. That's A Week in Geekdom. Subscribe if you can. If not, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
And thank you so much, DBC. I suck at asking for people. Remember to consider supporting the Patreon. You do, like, for $1 a month, you get to vote on our Old Reader or New Reader poll.
Not $1 a day.
The camera person in the room.
Yeah, he told me I need to figure out the swivel. What's it called? The gimbal?
The gimbal.
The gimbal.
What the
hell? Yeah. And try not to knock anything over.
Try not to knock anything over. We got to figure out the lighting.
Let me tell you, I shampooed this carpet and I didn't knock anything over. It's pretty good. High five.
All right.
Borat came out. You guys say high five.
High five.
Everybody's going to be talking like Borat in 2020. All right, Amanda.
You want me to sign us off?
Yeah, sure. Sign us off. We'll be back.
Oh, I thought where people could find me here on this channel.
Spanish.
Yeah, Amanda, do Spanish.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Sing that song in Spanish.
I don't want
to.
That's the one. Here we go. Okay.
No, my new song in Spanish is Hawaii by Maluma, but that's another story for another time.
All right. So, no, seriously, sign us off.
Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and remember to follow us on all of our social media channels. And not near McCon. My cat's gonna jump in here now. Sorry. If you want to support us on Patreon for $1 a month, not $1 a day, please do so. You could do really cool things like vote on our Old Reader, New Reader once a month, etc. If you want to spot some really awesome Near Make Edition merchandise, which none of us are wearing today, do so. Head over to Redbubble and check that out. And remember, guys, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Have a good evening, and we will see you tomorrow for House of Wax, the 2005 version. Yay! 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, guys. Have a good